Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast, where we bring unique insight and analysis behind your favorite teams at the collegiate and professional levels. I'm your host, Chase Jontz. I'm joined by a special guest today, Kaycee Sloan. How you doing, Kaycee?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. Thanks for coming on and everything.
Yeah.
You could tell the people kind of about yourself, what you've been doing this entire NFL season, and I'll leave the floor to you.
Yeah, so this NFL season's kind of been a crazy one. I started the beginning of the season and preseason and all the draft and everything in Cincinnati with the Bengals, covering them.
Yep.
And then about, let me see, I think the first game I covered for the Bucs was when they lost to the Steelers. So I came on kind of towards the middle of their season and finished out the half of it and into the playoffs. So that's really all I've been doing. The season ended not on a very flattering note. So I'm moving on from that. But yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Okay, that's cool. And obviously, got to cover the division champion Bucs. They were obviously a under 500 record and all that stuff, but thankfully they play in the NFC South. So
right, everybody. Yeah,
exactly. Everyone is not good down there. They all need quarterbacks. The Bucs had a quarterback in Tom Brady. Had not really one of his best seasons, but still threw 25 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Still a very good year for most teams' quarterbacks in the National Football League. But just what did you think of this entire Bucs season? I know it was a big drop off from 2020, 2021, and all that. Obviously had some injuries and stuff like that. And what do you think Tom Brady's next steps are going to be coming up? He's 45, going to turn 46.
Yeah.
What do you project coming up?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the whole truth, only he knows. Only he knows. I have his Instagram notifications on ready for when he makes the announcement. And it's honestly just a waiting game for him. Like, he already retired once. Is he going to do it again? And after the loss to the Dallas Cowboys, it's like, where do you go from here? Because, he's the GOAT. Like, there's no question about it. Like, arguably one of the best quarterbacks right now of our time, So it's just like he either has the option to re-sign with the Bucs, retire again, or go to another team. But it's like he's going to want to go somewhere that is going to want to win a Super Bowl, that has the players, the Super Bowl caliber. And I don't see a team right now that needs a quarterback at that level. And especially to pay him also. You have to give that man money. And for what, a year most? I'm at maybe 2. Who's really, it's so weird to be like, who's going to want Tom Brady because it's Tom Brady, but realistically, that's the case now. So I think his best bet would honestly be to re-sign with the Bucs because he knows what's here. But then if you think about it, Byron Leftwich is gone, the offensive coordinator. They fired him. And he had a very close relationship with him. He was there when Bruce Arians was, and they won the Super Bowl with them. So it's like that changes the whole set of things too. And it's literally only he knows. Only he knows.
Exactly. And think about it. He's not he's not the only quarterback that's going to go through this process this year. There's Tom Brady. There's Aaron Rodgers, who does it every single year at this time. And he's always in the headlines every single day.
Lamar Jackson now too.
Lamar Jackson. Yep. Derek Carr is going to be on his way out for sure. And then Lamar, we don't know about Lamar. That's the thing. He missed the last 6 games and, didn't play in that playoff game and all that. So
he didn't even travel with the team to the Bengals. So it's
yeah, that's a big key right there. So normally you got those guys, they travel with them and all that. And, he's the starting quarterback, the face of the Ravens. And he didn't even, make a travel with the team and all that stuff. So that's huge to look at. But, quarterback carousel is going to be big this offseason. Where Tom Brady goes, he could stay back in Tampa. Really depends. Yeah.
I was at the playoff game and I was at the post-game press conference, and at the very end of it, I don't know if you've seen clips, but he gave a very genuine thank you to all the reporters that cover him. And it seemed like I had only been to their practices 3 times during the season. So I had only seen him talk 3 times to the media, and it was never like that at the end. It was always, thanks, you guys. And then that game, it was something completely different. I was talking with our sports reporter at the station, and she was like, that seemed like it was a genuine goodbye. And I agree. It was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, think about it. You're in like a piece of history right there. If that ends up being he's leaving, that's pretty cool to be a part of and all that stuff. And kind of just really disappointed for Bucks fans everywhere and all that. But I mean, you look at it, the fits that you could see with him. A lot of people talk about the Raiders. They could use him over there, but it would only be a year or two. Josh McDaniels, the head coach and play caller. Who knows what's in store over there? And he's got Devontae Adams. To be able to throw to the Titans. Mike Vrabel's coach.
That one actually very surprised me when the Titans were brought up. That one surprised me a lot, actually.
Exactly. He's got a strong run game, obviously, with Derrick Henry back there. Not a whole lot of receiver talent and all that stuff. Obviously, Traylon Burks, but they got some guys there, and he can rely on a run game and a good defense. He's gonna need almost the perfect scenario if he wants to get back and win a Super Bowl. And like you said, a lot of teams are in the middle of the pack right there that want Tom Brady. They're not good enough to go win a Super Bowl like that. They have to really build around and all that. And it takes time.
And it takes money. And that's the cap issues is the thing. And the Bucks have 27 free agents. So it's like, how are you going to get, that's a lot. And
that's a ton.
Yeah, and Levante David is I think I looked yesterday, and it was Tom Brady and then Levante David right under him under the asking price. And it's Levante David's been there for 11 years, so it's do you just let him go? He's been there his whole career. I mean, we talked to him after the game, and he was like, "Yeah, I love to finish out my career here." But it's going to be an interesting offseason.
Yeah, they got a lot of tough questions to ask and a lot of tougher answers to really come out with. So, I mean, there's still a little bit of time, but that window is closing every day as it goes by. But, for the two teams remaining in the NFC playoffs, the Eagles and the Niners, it's 3:00 on Fox and Fox Sports says this is going to be a fun game. I mean, you look at the AFC Championship, you have arguably the two best quarterbacks in the National Football League. I think we can both agree on that. All right. And with these, I mean, these might be the two best rosters in the league. I mean, this is going to be a very, very good matchup. You got that right. I mean, you think about it, the Niners with a third string quarterback and Brock Purdy and, the system that they're able to run, under Kyle Shanahan. And then on the defensive side of the ball, DeMeco Ryans. I mean, they've been absolutely brilliant. And then the Eagles, I mean, they're the best team in the NFL when it comes to record wise, tied with the Chiefs. They literally rolled everybody they played against in the NFC this year. And, the first question I'm going to start off with, so Brock Purdy, all right. Obviously, last week you kind of saw, some vulnerability and some mistakes he made against the tough Cowboys defense, who you saw 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, what's your confidence level of Brock Purdy facing this ferocious Eagles defense on Sunday?
I feel like he is already so confident, to be honest. I mean, yes, he did. I mean, Trayvon Diggs almost did pick him off, right at the end zone. That happened. But then literally next play, Christian McCaffrey runs in for a touchdown. So it's he didn't even get flustered off of that possible interception. And not even going back to before the postseason when he played the Bucks, that was his first NFL start, and he absolutely blew the Bucks out of the water. It was 35-7 against Tom Brady, and you're getting your first NFL start. How often does that happen? It doesn't. So I just feel and that was supposed to be Brady's huge homecoming game. He's from the area, and for Purdy to just put a stop to that and to show out and go above and beyond. And the fact that my biggest thing with the Eagles defense is that Brock Purdy, the Niners have the number one defense in the NFL. So it's he's going out there and practicing with these guys every single day. So he's already going up against the number one defense. So who's to say that going against the Eagles will be harder per se, because he's already going up against all these tough guys.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't really note that, though. I mean, Brock Purdy, seeing those guys like Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, and the guys on the back end and all that stuff. I mean, he's going up against the ferocious defense in his own team every single day. So he's getting to see some different types of looks. Maybe they play a little different styles of defense, but they're still, their job is still get after it, pressure the quarterback, turn the ball over, and all that stuff. So done a good job with that. Funny thing you should mention with the Brock Purdy thing and Tom Brady's homecoming. I mean, Brock Purdy's parents were going to that game just to watch Tom Brady and end up seeing Brock Purdy just completely dismantle the Bucs. I mean, that's
his dad crying when he got his touchdown. That was a good moment.
It definitely was. And I mean, it was a great moment for him, Brock Purdy, great moment for Niners fans knowing, hey, we got a chance to go out and win the Super Bowl. I mean, this has been a heck of a run for Brock Purdy. In the postseason, he's completed about 63% of his passes. He's thrown for about 273 yards a game, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Hasn't really been touched a whole lot, a 110 passer rating. He has been playing some really good football down the stretch, and he's undefeated. So I mean, he's 7-0 as a starter. I mean, that's the big thing down the stretch. So he's done a fantastic job for the 49ers. With this, which Niners offensive weapon should scare Philly the most? I mean, you've got an abundance of people, but which one really highlights it to your eye?
For me, there's the top 3. For me, obviously Christian McCaffrey. I can't believe the Panthers traded him away they did in the season. That was such a shock because the Panthers, it's like, well, what do you have now? And then they don't have Baker anymore. He went to California too, so it's like, but no, for sure, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Deebo Samuel. I mean, Deebo Samuel is he's Deebo, so he's going to find a way to make plays. It doesn't matter. But those are the 3 that really stood out to me. And Kittle's, he's getting healthier now after dealing with some injuries at the beginning of the season. So I don't know. I feel like this offensive matchup going against the defensive matchup for the Eagles it's really good.
Oh, most definitely. And you think about it, George Kittle, I mean, he had a, all right season up until the point really when Brock Purdy came along. I think George Kittle had 6 touchdown receptions in the regular season from Brock Purdy. So, I mean, he's obviously turned it up a gear. He's 132 yards in the playoffs, had that crazy catch last week, which I think he hit it off his hands and helmet 4 or 5 times, which that could have been a game changer right there. Trayvon Diggs with his hands on that football. So, I mean, he's really, he's really extending his level of play. Deebo Samuel, you can use him all over the place, in the backfield, in the slot, out wide. You can even throw the football if you need to, just like Christian McCaffrey. I mean, McCaffrey being healthy is it's a whole other gear for them. They can put anybody back there to run that football behind that offensive line. But when it's Christian McCaffrey and he's not getting touched for 10 yards down the field, good luck with that one. I mean, the Niners are just flowing on all different levels. The run sets up the pass. Kyle Shanahan has just been a mastermind behind it. He wants to get a chance to redeem himself. With last year and then even the Super Bowl in 19. So, I mean, there's a lot on the line for the Niners, and there's a lot of guys that should really scare the Eagles. But the Eagles have a great defense as well. And, we're going to talk. Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a couple minutes. But rolling into the Eagles side of the ball on offense, Jalen Hurts. I mean, Hurts, he's a 2nd-round pick. He, was behind Carson Wentz in 2020. Doug Peterson was the coach. We were like, okay, why did they pick Jalen Hurts in the 2nd round? They just signed Carson Wentz to a pretty big deal and all that stuff. So, a lot of questions were there. He played toward the end of the season. He was a starter. He won a couple games, did a good job. Last year, went to the playoffs after a slow start. They were 9-8, got killed by the Bucs. I mean, talk about the growth from the Eagles as a whole team, but what exactly has improved upon Jalen Hurts in year 2 under Nick Sirianni?
Yeah, I think it's decision making. I think that he's what is it? This year he has 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 700 yards in the regular season. Compared to last year, 2021, he had 6 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Already that shows me that he's doing something different and it's working for him. He shows that not only can he throw the ball, but he can also run with it. He can move around in the pocket and buy himself time if he needs to. And then when you have don't get me wrong, the Eagles also have a really good their offense is the top in the league. So when you have him being able to buy himself time and you have your OL out there helping you, they're going to be unstoppable. That's how I was watching them at the beginning of the season. I was literally at the beginning of the season, the first few games, I was I could see them going to the Super Bowl just based on the beginning of the season. They were undefeated for such a long stretch, and then they started falling off a little bit. But I think they only lost 4 games.
I think
or
3
games.
Yeah,
so 14-3. Yeah. So.
Yep. They've done a good job this year. Jalen Hurts is 15-1 as a starter. That's unbelievable overall. You look at we've had a couple of people on the show in the past and everything. One of the guys, Matt, that's on, he said it in the offseason, watch out for the Eagles. Watch out. Jalen Hurts is having a big year, all that stuff. Ian Eagle came on the show. He said, watch out for Jalen Hurts. Watch out for the Eagles. They're coming. They're gonna be really, really good this year. I believe that they were going to win the division. I didn't think they were. I mean, I wouldn't say didn't think they'd get to this point, but they are on a different level than everyone kind of thought they would be. That's a big jump that they've made over the course of the season. And you look at the numbers. Miles Sanders last year did not score a touchdown. He didn't score a touchdown all year. 1,269 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns, average 75 yards a game. And then Jalen Hurts doing his normal thing as a dual threat quarterback, 760 rushing yards, 13 touchdown runs. That's why he's in the MVP conversation with this, throwing ability, efficiency, and then being able to, have that second gear when he comes to running the football. They run the football so well. They average 150 yards a game on the ground. Their offensive line up front, I mean, they really are those dogs. Jason Kelsey at center. You got Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata. I mean, they're a fantastic group that has been really gelled consistently, and they just keep beating up teams. The Niners are a physical team. The Eagles are a physical team. That's why this is just going to pack a punch, and it's going to be so fantastic to watch.
This is the most exciting Super Bowl run, I feel like, because on the AFC side you have the Chiefs and the Bengals, and then the Niners and the Eagles. It's a great matchup all the way around.
Most definitely. And I was just talking to my parents. I was, they're big in football too. I was talking to them, and it was just I feel like for the first time in probably 4 or 5 years since the 2018-19 season, these are really the two best teams from each conference are playing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because usually, you have the upsets, and it's well, maybe they're not necessarily the best team to make it there, but I genuinely think that these are the 4 best teams.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you had a lot of upsets last year. The Rams were literally hosting the conference championship as a 4 seed. All right. Yeah. I mean, you got to look more into things like that. And then, the Bengals making that Super Bowl run it wasn't a fluke, but I mean, we did upset, we had to upset a couple teams to get there. So, I mean, it was a magical run and all that. But I mean, I truly believe these are the 2 best teams from each conference playing. I mean, the last time that happened was, I think, the Rams and the Saints played each other in a very controversial ending. And then I think the GOAT Tom Brady, when he was with the Patriots, played Patrick Mahomes in that overtime battle. So, so I'm very, very excited to see this. But, we talked about the Niners defense. The Eagles defense, very good as well. Obviously, their front 4, crazy. Their secondary as well. Linebackers are a pretty strong unit, but which defense do you trust more with the game on the line? This is like picking a favorite child. I don't know.
I just feel like, going off statistics, I have to take the Niners. It's just, all of it is there, I mean, statistics, it's such a hard decision.
Yeah,
because it truly is best defense going against best offense, but the game is on the line. This is a Hail Mary. I just have to go with the Niners.
Yeah, honestly,
they'll be able to get it done.
Yeah, it's honestly just putting your hand over your head and just I don't know. I just pick one of them. That's really about what it comes to.
There's really no wrong answer, because you could see it going either way, honestly.
Exactly. And I think the big thing that I was, looking at some stats, and, that's really the thing you got to go to when it comes to a decision like this. I mean, it's tough overall when you hear people trying to persuade one way or another. You just look at the stats and it's man, they're close, but you kind of got to go with the numbers. But when you look at it, say the Eagles go out the first drive and they just move it down the field on the Niners, they might be in trouble. All right. I mean, with the ability to run the football and, a lot of RPOs, RPRs, as some people call them, run, pass, run with Jalen Hurts, that's going to be tough. But if the Niners can come out and set the tone overall and just stop the run and force Jalen Hurts to pass, which teams have done that. But, he's obviously,
if they're able to put that pressure on him, I mean, they did it with Brady. As if you come in swarming, you're they're going to get flustered and mistakes are going to happen. So,
Yep. And I mean, and it also, that right there also gives confidence to Brock Purdy, knowing, okay, my defense is going out there and, we're getting pressure on Jalen Hurts. We're stopping the run. We're going to make him throw the football. And now I'm kind of like, oh, I can, kind of tone it down a little bit. Not, obviously keep your guard up and all that. And you got to, you have a nice system underneath. The system of the 49ers and the system of the Eagles, these are 2 juggernauts going against each other. And it's really going to come down to which defense, really steps up and makes a big play here or there. And I agree with you. I think the Niners are really they're back in for revenge. They made it last year. They blew a 10-point lead to the Rams. I don't think they're just going to come back and lose this game. I think the story continues. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And I mean, like, after Purdy he's Mr. Irrelevant, not anymore. That's all anybody can talk about is how well he's doing. And I think it was after they beat the Bucs, it was like during the post-game interviews and like all the team, like in the locker room and stuff. And every teammate was like, we had faith in him. Like, we see him come out here every day. Like, we have his back. Like, we knew that he was going to do good. Because, put yourself in that position. Like, if you have Trey Lance, he gets injured, and then Jimmy G gets injured, who was the starting quarterback last year. And then you have this third-string kid who's literally, like, around my age coming in to fill and, like, continue on, like, this huge, like amazing, like, winning streak that you have going on. You have the NFL's best defense behind you. And I think he did really well. So, yeah.
Yeah, you look at it, like, those guys have confidence, and, the entire team has confidence in Brock Purdy. And it's not every day that every position group has an all-pro.
Right.
And that is high praise, saying that to a rookie,
right.
the last pick of the draft, saying that we have confidence in you, young fella, and you can go out there and just look what he's done. It's been incredible. And this isn't the first time that, Purdy and Hurts have played each other. We've seen it all over the place. The big game they played Oklahoma, Iowa State back in 2019. It was, fantastic matchup, and just, it's going to be nice to see the second coming of what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
With this, what are some keys to success for the 49ers on Sunday? I know we talked a little bit, a little bit of everywhere and all that, but what are a couple keys that you're looking out for, or something that, they need to do to win the football game?
Yeah, I definitely think keeping their focus on Hurts, like keeping him inside the pocket and really forcing him, like putting pressure on him to throw the ball, because he can run, we know that. So if you put pressure on him, but he's able to get around it and run, that's going to be detrimental to the Niners, I feel like, because it's going to like when you have a quarterback run on you and get like a certain amount of yards, it's kind of like a defeating feeling, I guess.
Yeah.
So I feel like if they're able to really keep him inside the pocket and really put pressure on him and like force him to make mistakes, force him to throw those interceptions, get some sacks, like I think that's going to be, especially fumbles too. As long as they can force that, it's just all about putting pressure for me. And they picked off, like, that's the thing. They picked off Dak twice in the divisional round. So if they're able to keep doing that, I think they'll be successful. I really do.
Without a doubt.
And like keeping your eye on Bosa too, because if he's able to get around and put some sacks on Hurts, it'll be good.
Oh, for sure. You think about it, the protection up front for the Eagles is going to be really, really critical. The Niners, though, if they're able to win their battles with a 4-man rush, it's going to be a long day for Hurts. Obviously, being able to, get out of the pocket and go like that, but keeping him contained, keeping a spy on him, just kind of keeping him under wraps and in clamps. It's, that'll make him frustrated and everything. And, we'll really get to see how Jalen Hurts will be as a player if that's the scenario, and they're just continually getting pressure and keeping him in the pocket. So I definitely agree with that. And, keys to success for the Eagles, they got to establish the run game early. That's without a doubt. They have to establish the run game early, run the ball, set up the pass. Miles Sanders is going to be big. Jalen Hurts, not necessarily at times having to scramble, but just, in some situations, he's going to go up against some tough linebackers who hit really, really hard. Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, they come after you, that's for sure. And just, using the entire tool belt of guys with Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, keep guys fresh, because this Niners defense is super physical, overall. And I think they're going to have to set that up right there. The pass game, they got to get AJ Brown involved early. I saw some comments from AJ Brown about how he was frustrated and all that stuff. Man, you were winning 38-7 against the Giants. All right, you want a playoff game. All right, you're going to the come on.
It was the Giants.
Exactly. I get it, but come on, man. You guys were completely kicking their ass and just you're in the NFC Championship game. This is way further than you were with the Titans. So overall, but AJ Brown's had a great season. He's going to go against Charvarius Ward, who last year got picked on against Jamar Chase, went for 263 and like 3 scores. AJ Brown, obviously top of the line receiver. maybe that they get the ball, they get the ball rolling and get throwing. I mean, I'm not going to say he puts up those numbers, but he could. I mean, that's tough to put up for anybody. But I mean, I think AJ Brown could have a very big day if the protection's right and all that stuff. And then defensively, I think the Eagles, they're fast, they're furious. I think they want to disguise some looks for Brock Purdy and just give him a lot of fool's gold and stuff, and just bait him into some mistakes overall. So I think the Eagles are really going to be dialing that up. I think the coordinators in both these games are going to be huge. This is a game beyond the game. It talks about a chess match, chess pieces. This is going to be, obviously we've said it the entire time. This is going to be an unbelievable matchup, an unbelievable weekend. So with that being said, though, who's your pick? I mean, this is a tough one, but
such a hard decision because the more you think about it, like my gut wants to say Eagles just because the experience, and it's like it is Jalen Hurts, and you hear him talk and he's always like, this is what I've trained for like my whole life. Like he talks about his dad being his football coach and like football his whole life. And like, obviously with all these players, that's the case. But I just feel like, not that it's a deeper meaning for them, because I'm sure it's the same way with everyone, but I feel like they're really out here trying to get after it. And that's not to say that the 49ers aren't either, but it's just so hard because then you think about the Niners and like they're on such a hot streak right now. And Brock Purdy is like, I mean, he's doing unbelievably amazing, like probably better than what anybody thought he was going to do. So that's already a confidence booster. So it's just so hard to choose. But because it's like, the more I think about it, I'm like, the Niners probably could get away with it. I feel like I could see it 100% going either way. But I might have to go with the Eagles.
Okay. All right. Right. Yeah, I mean that's the one thing we haven't talked about, the crowd. I mean, that's gonna sway. Yeah, the crowd's gonna sway one way or another. I mean, if Brock Purdy goes down there and just takes the Niners on an opening drive touchdown, I mean, the Eagles fans are gonna come back and clap back with. They're some of the nastiest fans.
Philly,
overall. In general, that's they're some of the nastiest fans, most passionate fans overall. Yeah, and then you're gonna see some Niners fans make the trip there. There's gonna be a lot of them there too. So I mean, the crowd's gonna play a huge part in it. Just the nastiness. If the Niners fall behind,
if it's anything like the Bengals-Bills game. If the Niners come out and you start hearing their chants, how you did Who Dey chants, I think the Niners for sure. It's like a game time decision.
Exactly. You just got to look at the stadium and see, how much red is there in the stadium? Oh, there's not a whole lot. Oh, I'm picking the Eagles. So I mean, just that whole thing there. It's going to be so tough. So you're leaning Eagles. So with this though, it's so tough. Obviously, when. I keep looking back at it, like the Eagles, they're just, they're rolling everybody. They've, but a lot of people have said, they haven't played a whole lot of people. They haven't played a whole lot of teams. So I don't know what the whole thing's going to be there. The Niners, they've played some teams. They've rolled over them. They've been, really efficient and all that. And man, this is tough. So
I know.
I have a VHS tape of Super Bowl 23 in my room. It is Niners Bengals. And we're just going to manifest it. We're going to manifest it. And we're going to say the Niners are going to win this game.
Yeah. See, that's another reason, because I would love for it to be a Bengals Niners rematch. The city of Cincinnati deserves it so bad.
Most definitely. We need it. Oh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, just, the whole thing there, just the history lessons, all that stuff. I'll be watching that tape for the next couple of weeks if that matchup actually comes to fruition. But
manifesting it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, and before we get out of here, I might as well get your AFC pick. I think I know who you're gonna go with.
I'm definitely going with the Bengals.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah. Covering them last year, it was just seeing the difference. Like, they have improved so much. Like when they played against the Bills, every single like key player, every single like offense, defense, everything was just so on point. It was nothing like I'd ever seen before out of that Bengals team. It was amazing.
Most definitely. I mean, it was just it felt last year felt like a fever dream. It felt like, how exactly are we doing this? And how have we gotten this far? I mean, obviously, we were division champs, all that stuff, but just the entire thing. We hadn't won a playoff game in 31 years, and then to just get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And, but this year it's like, like Joe Burrow said, the standards has been raised. All of that stuff. They have just really raised their level of play, their level of detail, their level of precision and all that. And this isn't surprising. I know the 0-2 start was,
as soon as that happened, a lot of people were like, it was a Super Bowl hangover.
Exactly.
As soon as that happened. Yeah.
Yep. A lot of the hangover. They were saying the run was a fluke. It was everything. Everything you could pull out in the book. That's what they said. But
and that's the biggest thing for me for the Bengals is that their whole like franchise history they have been shit on basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the whole like arguing between the Bengals and Bills fans, it's like, well, people have to realize that the Bengals literally just got told that a coin flip could determine where they would play their first playoff game, even though they won the AFC North, meaning that they should have home field advantage. And then on top of that, you get told, hey, this neutral site thing's going to happen when neither one of those teams were even guaranteed to go there. So I just feel like they're playing with a little bit of anger, and they should.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I think they're playing with anger. They're playing with a lot of pettiness. And normally I'm not like, petty me, petty too, all that stuff. But man, just they're so petty and I love it. I love seeing, the energy they brought out. Joe Burrow better send those refunds, all that stuff. Those guys, they're harboring it. Yeah. They're putting it out on the field and they're out there just kicking people's ass like the Bills. So I mean,
and they're undefeated against the Chiefs. That's another thing. Like it is hard to beat a team 3 times, especially 4.
Yeah.
But I think if anybody can do it, it's going to be them. So
without a doubt. I mean, this is going to be a fantastic conference championship weekend. Cannot wait for the game Sunday. Thanks for stopping in, Kaycee.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Fun. Most definitely. So, with that being said, Cut the Chase Sports Podcast. We'll see you guys next week.